Good evening and welcome to Ignite News on 6 at 6. It's Tuesday, July 29th, 2025. I'm Rihanna Nakram. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Political parties lay out their promises ahead of September 1st general and regional elections. The Guyana Police Force is rooting out misconduct with stricter training, oversight, and accountability. THAG's Mitchell Ramkumar says tourism could catapult Guyana onto the global stage, but only if everyone gets behind it. And after floods, pandemic, and hard years, our Berbice farm is thriving again and not ready to stop. With just over a month to go before Guyanese head to the polls, the governing PPC is putting its record front and center, claiming it has delivered real results and that the best is yet to come. At a recent rally, President Irfan Ali said his government has transformed Guyana into the fastest growing economy in the world, while building new roads, schools, homes, and hospitals. He pointed to what he called major progress on 5 fronts: food security, energy security, climate resilience, infrastructure, and social support, saying that success has helped attract billions in foreign investment and create growing confidence from local businesses.
Let me be clear. Tonight, we have outlined to you a clear vision. And in that vision, we are going to more efficiently integrate Region 1 with Region 2. We're going to create great opportunities in linking Region 3 to 2. And then with the Sand Hill Road and the Goshen Del Conte route, you will be linked to Region 7 and the hinterland. When we invest in this infrastructure, what does it mean? It means that you have a larger market for your product.
He also said that support will be expanded to other areas, including small businesses, if re-elected.
Every one of you, you're voting for more support to small businesses. You're voting for more money to be directly transferred to your families. You're voting for co-investment opportunities. You're voting for lower interest rate at the bank. You're voting for a better system to support you in doing business with government. You're voting for your honor and your dignity. You're voting so your region, like Providence, will be hosting international sporting events right here at Anna Regina.
Guyanese will be going to the polls on September 1st, 2025, or just over a month from today, to elect a government of their choice. While the PPC defends its record and outlines plans for expansion, a Partnership for National Unity's APNU presidential candidate, Orby Norton, says his government will pursue better returns from Ghana's oil deal with ExxonMobil. Speaking at the launch of APNU's 100-day plan, Norton said his administration would immediately begin work to establish a long overdue petroleum commission and re-examine the laws governing the Natural Resource Fund.
In our first 100 days, the APNU coalition government will do the following. 1. Engage ExxonMobil on the Stabroek Block PSA with the aim of increasing benefits for Guyana. 2. Amend the Natural Resource Fund Act to ensure that there are savings for future generations and for when oil prices are low. 3. Release all government contracts on the oil and gas industry and other major projects.
Norton added the commission would be professional and independent, supporting better oversight and management of the sector. But all is just the beginning. Norton said a supplementary budget will be used to deliver immediate financial relief.
We intend to implement initial measures to enhance social justice and good governance in our country. On assuming office, our top priority will be to pass a supplementary budget.
The party is promising $100,000 cash transfers, a 35% wage hike for public servants, a tax-free threshold raised to $400,000 a month, pensions increased to $100,000, and $50,000 monthly stipends for students. The 100-day plan also includes consultations to revise the 2006 Amranian Act, procurement reform to expand access to government contracts, and new multi-stakeholder forums to tackle national and community concerns. The Alliance for Change, meanwhile, is promising a basic skills academy in every region if elected on September 1st. At a meeting in East Rumbelt on Sunday, presidential candidate Nigel Hughes said too many foreigners are doing jobs the Guyanese could easily fill if they had the right training.
We will train you for 10 to 12 months at those facilities in your region, so you don't have to travel from region 1 to come to region 6 or region 5 or region 4. We will train you there for 10 months, and we know that poverty is a hell of a thing, and we know that you cannot afford not to eat for them 10 months and your family has to eat. We will pay you while you're being trained. We will pay you while you're being trained. This is Guyana, this is our money, we ain't borrowing this money. We will pay you because every citizen deserves an opportunity to be given a chance.
You said the AFC plans to create what he called a voluntary national service, where citizens can learn hands-on trades like scaffolding, welding, construction, and skills tied to the oil and gas industry. Those who complete the program will get certified and either be placed in the workforce or equipped to start their own business.
When you're done and you pass the exam and you're certified, we give you 2 options because you're entitled to it as a Guyanese. If you want to go work, we're going to find you a job in the industry, whether it's construction, oil and gas, whatever. But if you're an entrepreneur and you want to start your own business, we will give you the tools. But we know business acumen is something automatic. We will also give you the financial advisors that will walk you through setting up a business plan, that will set up the markers so that you know when you're going into financial difficulty. Because we want to build a strong business class for everybody in this country. And we want to make sure that you know what it takes to run your own business.
The AFC leader also promised a new immigration policy to protect Guyanese jobs, saying no foreigner should be hired for basic work, like driving a truck, if a trained Guyanese is available. He told the crowd it's government's duty to train and empower its people, especially now, when the economy is full of opportunity. When we return, we'll look at how the Guyana Police Force is tackling corruption head-on, explore the growing potential of tourism as Guyana's global face, and hear from a farmer who's witnessed the country's agricultural transformation firsthand. Stay with us.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyana's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyana's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Welcome back. The Guyana Police Force is implementing bold reforms to rebuild public trust. The Guyana Police Force is stepping up efforts to tackle corruption and win back public trust. This is according to Deputy Commissioner Ravindradat Budram, who says the force is focused on reform, with stronger accountability systems and zero tolerance for misconduct. Speaking on Safeguarding Our Nation, Episode 6, Budram said cases of abuse are being actively investigated and prosecuted, and new measures are in place to prevent future wrongdoing.
Frankly speaking, I understand the public's view of corruption in the force. While there are some rogue elements within the force, majority of our officers are good officers, and they are here to serve the public. For this reason, we take this issue very seriously. We have done training in integrity and monitoring at all levels. If there is an allegation of misconduct, our Office of Professional Responsibility would investigate. And after advice is sought, action will be taken. There are some incidents recently on the East Bank where a policeman was arrested with narcotics. There was also one recently on the East Coast where a policeman was arrested with a firearm, illegal firearm. Those matters are presently before the court.
Among the new initiatives, mandatory ethics and integrity training for all officers, along with stricter standards for conduct and service.
Training and recruitment has changed significantly over the years. 30 years ago, when I joined the force, we hadn't the training that the present recruits are having. I am jealous at the moment, simply because the present training has been modified to include gender-based training, domestic violence, computer training, and a whole host of other training.
Once enlisted, the Deputy Commissioner said officers also have access to scholarships, mental health services, housing support, and clearly defined promotion pathways based on merit and qualifications.
We ensure that they have overseas training. Over the years, you would have trained over 600 officers at different institutions, economies, and countries. The US, India, Canada, to name a few. They have trained in the area of information technology, domestic violence, investigation, to name a few. At the moment, we have persons who are at law school in Trinidad and Bahamas. 6 were pursuing their legal studies.
The police recruitment processes have also been redesigned to go beyond academic qualifications, now assessing candidates on integrity, judgment, and problem-solving skills. Buram says these changes are all part of a broader effort to modernize the police force and make it a professional, service-driven institution Guyanese can trust. President of the Tourism and Hospitality Association of Guyana, THAG, Mr. Ramkumar, believes tourism could become the face of Guyana and a key driver in boosting its global presence. Speaking on Ignite Insights last week, Ramkumar said the industry holds huge potential for economic growth and could help shape how the world sees Guyana. He highlighted fast-growing areas like sports and events tourism, in addition to the country's well-established ecotourism. Together, he said, these sectors not only attract visitors, but also help sell Guyana as a hub for business and investment.
In my previous term, I would have said that I believe that the tourism industry should be the new frontier industry for Guyana. In that it could be the face of Guyana, and the difference now that we didn't have then is that we have the resources to get it done. And so I believe that is the game changer.
But unlocking that potential, he added, requires serious investment and a national mindset that believes in the sector's power to elevate the country. Ramkumar said Ghana is already on that trajectory and compared it to Dubai, which turned desert into one of the world's most desirable destinations. He believes Ghana, with its rich assets and creativity, can do the same.
We have so much in our favor. We have the majestic Kaichua Falls, we have these beautiful eco-lodges, these untouched places. When you come out, in any one of the regions and county you go to, you're amazed at what God has given us as a country. So why not use this and make Guyana, I would say, in one of the most attractive countries to visit in the world. Because you could come and get you could have all the events, you could have sports tourism, you could have all of these, and it can all be done in one place.
The TAG president also stressed that success depends on national unity, with government, citizens, and businesses working together to ensure Ghana is safe, clean, welcoming, and worth. Tourism may be a gateway to global recognition, but it's a quiet, steady work of farmers that seem to keep Ghana grounded and growing. For William Kedalchan, a 57-year-old cash crop farmer from Crabwood Quarantine, the rhythm of life has always been measured by the seasons and the soil. With over 5 decades of hands-on experience, he's weathered storms, both literal and economic, and says farming is not just how he earns, but how he lives. Waking before sunrise and managing 51 acres of farmland, Kedalchan has cultivated everything from cassava and sweet potatoes to cabbage and even broccoli. From the days of hand tools and hope for good weather to today's more structured and supported systems, he's witnessed the transformation of agriculture in Guyana. When the COVID-19 pandemic struck, followed closely by severe flooding, Kedalchan, like many farmers, faced massive losses with no buyers and closed markets. Today, things are back to normal, and he could not be happier.
All my life, that's my living. That's 100%, because if you have COVID for 2 years, and then from COVID, you remember everybody can't go out and do. Marketing was a lot. You can't take your produce at the market a lot. Who's going to buy from you there, right? It's a hiccup there. But from there on, everything was normal. Everything is back to normal. Right now, the people is crying that now it's the cost of living is high. But we can't do anything but that as farmers. Whatever we produce, it sells. It doesn't matter. We produce cassava, sweet potato, plantain, whatever. We can't export those stuff. Some farmers saying they're planting a lot of pumpkins. Some people have 20,000 pumpkins, some people have 100,000 pumpkins. But at the end of the day, you can export any pumpkin. You have to export pumpkin with quality, which we have some, not all. So that's the main issue here. And it's a free market. The government don't fix a price for your produce. Whatever it costs, you have to make a profit. For me personally, I'm happy with my farming. That's my livelihood.
Now, with the markets rebounding, he says every crop he plants sells, but there's a new hurdle, finding workers. While women assist in picking beans, male laborers are harder to come by. He also said support from the government has greatly aided his farming, provided free planting materials, dam upgrades, drainage work, and a major cost saver, free manure.
There's like $9,000, $10,000 bag for manure, which they give us for free. There you get one side that's a benefit for you. They give you planting materials. When you have to go and buy trays, it's $1,000 per tray, $1,200 per tray. And they give you like 20, 30 trays. That is a lot of money. Then you're talking about the same thing they say. They did do the drainage, they did do the dam, so it's helped you a lot that we don't have to do. We're not having flooding, and we could access our farm at all time. So it helps, the government helps a lot.
Kettlechan says farming nowadays has become a source of pride, relating that he has promised himself to keep cultivating for years to come. When we come back, Guyana's youth rally for mangrove protection. A powerful photo of an Akawayo child, just one big. And later, Mania's Movement's family takes the Escobar Zone T10 title. That and more after the break.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
You're watching Ignite News on 6 at 6. Thanks for staying with us. There's a national youth movement to protect Guyana's coastline through climate leadership, education, and community action. Guyana's youth joined officials last Friday to raise their voices for mangrove protection in observance of International Day for the Conservation of the Mangrove Ecosystem. They gathered at the Ramada Princess Hotel for a National Youth Conference on Mangrove Conservation, hosted by Recover Guyana and supported by international maritime firm John D. Null. More than 150 youth leaders, scientists, educators, and policymakers attended the event, which focused on the role of mangroves in climate action, coastal protection, and stronger communities. In his opening remarks, Recover Guyana President Dr. Dave Laltu said real environmental change depends on knowledge, partnerships, and action.
Through 3 national flagship projects, Shout, Engage, and the National Water Purification Project, we have helped shape a new generation of environmental advocates. As we look to the future, Recover Guyana remains steadfast in the commitment to scale our impact. By 2030, we aim to save over 25 million plastic water bottles through our water purification project, directly reducing plastic pollution that too often ends up in our rivers, coastlines, and mangrove habitats. Train 1,000 youth through Engage, building a new generation of climate-resilient entrepreneurs, and continue our nationwide efforts in capacity building, environmental education, and community mobilization.
He said these steps aim to build lasting protection systems, stressing that mangroves act as natural shields against flooding, erosion, and biodiversity loss. Queen's College alumni, Vasana Prasad, Guyana's first youth environmental speaker, called out the normalization of single-use plastics, saying it's time to push for practical alternatives. Her winning initiative, water refilling stations.
I launched the water project in March of 2024 with the support of Recover Guyana and my school to serve an estimated 1,000 individuals on my school's campus. And the results showed In under a year of opening my project at my school, Queen's College, we saved 30,000 plastic water bottles from entering landfills and the environment. I believe that number today now exceeds 70,000. Is that not incredible? That 70,000 everyday decisions positively impacted the environment by simply choosing a water refill over a plastic water bottle. And most importantly, that's 70,000 fewer plastic water bottles ending up in our waters to endanger our mangroves. My project was not rocket science, but it created an impact that went beyond numbers. It changed behaviors and sparked conversations, proving that sustainability was achievable and practical, not idealistic.
Educator and youth leader Nicholas Sagadea urged his peers to see mangroves not just as an environmental concern, but as a national development priority.
Guyana's coastline is more than just a strip of land. It is the heart of our population, our agriculture, our economy. Over 90% of our people live on the coast. Much of it is below sea level, and as we expand our developmental agenda, guided by the Low Carbon Development Strategy and in the 2030 agenda, we're also expanding risk from the seas, risk from stronger storms, risk from ecological decline. And in that context, the science is clear. Mangroves act as a natural coastal shield, reducing wave energy for about 95%, minimizing erosion and reducing flood damage. For a nation like ours, where the sea is both a lifeline and a looming threat, mangroves are our ecological insurance policy. Under the current government, we have recognized this. In fact, since 2020, we have reinvested in coastal ecosystem restoration through the National Mangrove Restoration Project, enhanced hydrological engineering, and community-based replanting initiatives.
British High Commissioner Jane Miller also joined the call, describing mangroves as the superheroes of the forests. The event, held under the theme Protecting Wetlands for a Future, featured expert voices from across the region and beyond. A quiet moment in the savannas of Region 7 has struck a chord with thousands across the country. Josiah Cornelius, who captured the moment, is this year's winner of the Snap and Share 59 photography competition. The competition, held by the Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, is in its 4th year. Cornelius' photos showed her 1-year-old niece, an Akawai child, standing in the wide open fields of Ominak village. The image, simple but powerful, stood out for its sense of pride, stillness, and cultural identity. It earned the most likes among 59 finalists.
Photography to me is more than just capturing a moment. It's about telling a story. It's about freezing emotions and all of that. And I have been passionate about promoting my village and its beautiful scenery. So this one time, I went to in the savannas and I took my little niece with me, my 1-year-old niece. And so I just wanted to capture that moment. I painted her face, I dressed her in her little traditional wear, and I took that picture. I didn't know that that simple picture would have taken me here.
As this year's winner, Cornelius took home $500,000, a high-end DSLR camera, and a weekend getaway at Carnambo Lodge. During the award ceremony at the Artichon Conference Center, both she and other winners saw their work and the stories behind their creations appreciated. Second place went to Siobhan Fidko, who received $300,000 and a trip to Kaitro Falls. Kyle Joseph, who came in third, received $150,000 and an ATV adventure. Other standout winners included Kodad De Freitas, Glenn Simon, Chelsea Peters, and Dina James, whose waterfall image was selected for the Special Winners' Choice Prize. According to the ministry, this year's competition drew over 1,600 entries, up from fewer than 500 in its first year, with a combined 16.8 million views and nearly 400,000 online interactions.
This year has been so competitive, with over 1,600 submissions. When we started this, it was under 500 submissions, and the standard was exceptionally high. which is what we want. We want their images to be stellar, to be able to use it on many, in fact, some of our snap and share submissions we were able to send to the Miami Herald, the newspaper publication in New York. I don't remember the name, I don't want to botch the name, but very, they have been able, and you know they are pretty, these international publications are very picky about, and they have to be about how the quality of the images that they use, and we've been able to use some of these images, and that's the idea, to be able to use it internationally and in international publications.
Tourism Minister Anuj Waldron praised the photographers for reshaping how people see Guyana, both at home and abroad, and reaffirmed government support for tourism rooted in local storytelling and community. The top 59 images will be published in the 2025 edition of the Snap and Share 59 magazine. As for Cornelius, she says she just wanted to share the beauty of her niece and her village, and in doing so, she helped shine a light on the culture and spirit of Guyana. In sports, emotions ran high under the lights at the Anna Regina ground as Marius Movement's family clinched the Essequibo Zone title in the Cares 1 Guyana T10 tape ball blast. They edged out the Avinash All-Stars in a thrilling final, defending the total of 112 for 9. The All-Stars were held to just 104 for 5, despite a blistering 53 from West Indies star Kyle Mayers. Marius captain Raydon Austin led the attack, taking 2 wickets for just 11 runs, sealing a $300,000 win for his team. The runners-up walked away with $100,000. Earlier, Marius' innings was boosted by a rapid-fire 40 off 16 balls, overcoming tight bowling from Ransford Beaton and Amir Mohammed. With his own title secure, Madi now advances to the national semifinals at the Providence Stadium on August 3rd, where they'll face defending champions, Titan All-Stars. Montreal Jaguars and Eccles All-Stars will meet in the second semifinal, with a women's exhibition match and a $1.7 million grand final still to come. Australia has wrapped up a dominant tour of the Caribbean with a 5-0 clean sweep in the T20 series, beating the West Indies by 3 wickets in the final match at Warner Park, St. Kitts. The hosts posted 170 thanks to a quick 52 from Sherman Hetmeyer, but Australia's Ben Dwarshuis struck back with figures of 3 for 41. Despite reducing Australia to 25 for 3, the Windies couldn't hold on. Cameron Green hit 32 off 18 balls, Tim David blasted 30 from 12, and Mitch Owen added 37 off just 17 deliveries. Aaron Hardy chipped in with 28, helping Australia chase down the target with 3 overs to spare. Captain Mitchell Marsh praised his team's consistency, saying they set the goal to sweep the series after beating West Indies in the 4th series. The T20 defeat follows a brutal 3-0 test loss for the West Indies, including being bowled out for just 27, the second lowest test score in history. Still ahead, authorities in Barbados are cracking down on unruly revelers. The US EPA plans to dismantle key climate protections, and the UK threatens to recognize Palestine at the UN. Your regional and international headlines after this break. Welcome back. In Barbados, the countdown to Grand Keduma is on, and officials are warning, play by the rules or pay the price. As the country gears up for the climax of the 2025 Crop Over Festival next Monday, authorities are urging revelers to behave responsibly during Grand Keduma. Under the Public Order Act, anyone found guilty of disorderly conduct can face a fine of up to 5,000 Barbadian dollars, 6 months in prison, or both. Officials are especially warning against unauthorized entry into Keduma bonds. According to the Act, it is an offense to enter a band without permission, whether in an assembly area or on the parade route. Barbados Today reports that persons who forced their way in behave aggressively, or refuse to leave when asked by an authorized person may be charged. Authorities say these laws are in place to protect participants and maintain order during one of the country's most celebrated events. As the final countdown to Keduma begins, revelers are reminded, enjoy responsibly or face the consequences. In international news, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency says it will scrap a key scientific finding that has underpinned America's climate policy for nearly 2 decades and will be described as the biggest regulatory rollback in U.S. history. According to Reuters, Trump's EPA nominee Lee Zeldin says the agency will rescind the 2009 endangerment finding, which declared that greenhouse gas emissions like carbon dioxide and methane harm human health. The repeal would also wipe out tailpipe emission standards for cars and trucks and could unravel most federal rules targeting pollution from vehicles, power plants, and oil production. Zeldin announced a plan on the Ruthless podcast, claiming it will save Americans money and arguing carbon dioxide is unfairly labeled a pollutant. But the 2009 finding, issued under President Obama, was upheld in court and grounded in a 2007 Supreme Court ruling that gave the EPA authority to act on climate change. Zeldin is expected to formally announce the rollback later today in Indiana, even as scientists and environmental advocates warn the move could have far-reaching consequences for climate policy. Finally, this evening, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says the UK will formally recognize a Palestinian state at the United Nations in September, unless Israel takes major steps to ease the crisis in Gaza and recommit to peace. The move would make Britain the second Western power on the UN Security Council to act, following France's recognition last week, a sign of growing isolation for Israel over its war in Gaza. Starmer says Israel must allow more aid into Gaza, rule out annexation of the West Bank, and commit to a 2-state solution.
As part of this process towards peace, I can confirm the UK will recognise the State of Palestine by the United Nations General Assembly in September, unless the Israeli government takes substantive steps to end the appalling situation in Gaza, agree to a ceasefire, and commit to a long-term sustainable peace, reviving the prospect of a 2-state solution. And this includes allowing the UN to restart the supply of aid and making clear that there will be no annexations in the West Bank.
He said UK's decision will depend on whether those conditions are met, but no country will have a veto. Starmer's government has already suspended some arms sales to Israel and sanctioned far-right Israeli ministers accused of inciting violence. UK joins a growing chorus of international voices urging action as Gaza faces widespread starvation and the death toll now topping 60,000. And that's all for this edition of Ignite News on 6 at 6. For more stories, visit ignitenews.com or follow us on social media. Thanks for watching. I'm Rihanna Nikram. See you tomorrow for more Ignite News.